Imagine sitting in your living room in the dead of winter, and suddenly you hear footsteps coming from the attic. You know you are alone. You know the doors are locked. You go outside to check. You find footprints in the snow, leading straight from the forest to your back door. But there are no footprints leading away. Someone is inside your house, and they are never going to leave. It was March 1922. Deep in the Bavarian woods of Germany lay a farm known as Hinterkaifeck. It was isolated, grim, and lonely. 6 people lived there: Andreas Gruber, his wife Kazilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and her 2 young children, and a brand new maid, Maria, who had just arrived that very day. The previous maid had quit 6 months earlier. She ran away, claiming the house was haunted. She said she heard voices in the walls, footsteps in the dark. Andreas Gruber didn't believe in ghosts, but a few days before the murders, even he started to notice things. First, he found a strange newspaper from Munich on his property. No one in the family subscribed to it. The postman hadn't delivered it. Then he noticed scratches on the lock of the tool shed. Someone had been trying to pick it. And then a spare set of house keys vanished completely. Andreas told his neighbors about the footprints in the snow, about the footsteps in the attic. They offered him a gun. They told him to call the police. But Andreas was a stubborn, secretive man. He refused. It was the last mistake he ever made. On the evening of March 31st, the killer made his move. He didn't break into the house. He waited in the barn, armed with a mattock, a heavy farming tool similar to a pickaxe. Somehow, he lured the family out to the barn, one by one. First, Victoria. Then Andreas went looking for her. Then Kazilia. And finally, the 7-year-old girl. All 4 were struck down in the dark, their bodies dragged into a pile and covered with hay. But the killer wasn't finished. He walked into the house. He found the new maid, Maria, asleep in her bed. It was her first day on the job. Then he walked into the master bedroom, where the 2-year-old baby boy was sleeping. He didn't hesitate. 6 people were dead. But this is where the story goes from a tragedy to a nightmare. The killer didn't leave. He stayed in the house for the entire weekend. He lit fires in the kitchen. He ate the family's food. He went out to the barn and fed the cattle, just feet away from where he had hidden the bodies. The postman came and left mail. Neighbors walked past. No one knew that inside, a mass murderer was living comfortably among the dead. For days later, on April 4th, neighbors finally grew suspicious. The children hadn't been to school. No one had seen Andreas. They forced their way into the barn. They pulled back the hay and found the slaughter. Police from Munich rushed to the scene, but the investigation was a disaster. Before they could secure the farm, dozens of villagers trampled through the crime scene, destroying all evidence. When detectives finally searched the house, they made a chilling discovery in the attic. Someone had pulled up the floorboards to watch the family below. They had made a bed in the hay. They had been living up there for days, maybe weeks, before the murders. Police interviewed over 100 suspects: drifters, traveling merchants, angry neighbors. The prime suspect was a neighbor named Lorenz Schlittenbauer. He had a bitter history with Victoria. He claimed to be the father of her baby boy and was paying her child support. When the search party found the bodies, Lorenz didn't look horrified. He walked right up to the corpses and started moving them. He even picked up the dead baby boy, but police could never prove he did it. The killer had left no fingerprints. No weapon was found at the scene. A year later, the Hinterkaifeck farm was torn down completely. As workers dismantled the floor, they found something hidden in the dirt: the murder weapon, the mattock. The killer had hidden it under the floorboards before he left. Today, all that remains of Hinterkaifeck is a stone memorial in an empty field. The case remains officially unsolved. The killer was never caught. He walked out of that farmhouse and vanished into history. But the nightmare of Hinterkaifeck endures, because sometimes the monster isn't hiding under the bed. He's living in the attic,